Hey Bulldogs, let's see what's happening this week on Code Blue News. Brianna gives us a sports update. George is back with a Don't Harsh My Mellow. Vincent covers the Social Justice Club's recent field trip, and Matt has another trivia. Now please stand for the Pledge of Allegiance in a moment of silence. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America, and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Please remain standing for a moment of silence. Thank you.
Good morning, everyone. Welcome to Code Blue News Season 3. I'm George Starr here with Joseph McLaughlin, 6 feet apart. Hey, Cohort A, we don't get to see your pretty faces as much.
As you have likely heard, the Commissioner of Education mandated a return for all students grades 6, 7, and 8. Grade 6 students will start a transition back into full-person learning prior to April vacation. They will start returning to a full 4-day schedule starting April 12th. Wednesday, April 14th will continue to be a remote learning day for all HMHS students, including those in 6th grade. Beginning Monday, April 26th, all grade 7 and 8 students who are currently participating in hybrid learning will return to school for 5 full days. Grade 6 students will also return. They'll be beginning to attend school on Wednesdays for the remainder of the year, beginning that week. As middle school students return to the classroom full-time, the synchronous learning opportunities will end for their grade level. High school students will attend in person on their cohort days and switch to a full day of remote learning each Wednesday beginning on April 28th.
Last night, the varsity football team faced off against Bishop Conley, winning the game 34-31 in double overtime. Holbrook senior Brendan Oliveira ran for 82 yards and 2 touchdowns. Avon junior Brady Sheenan ran for 140 yards and 3 touchdowns. Now let's go over to Brianna Graziano with another update on the Fall 2
Go! Get in there! Yes!
Sticking with sports, let's go to Brianna Grazio with an update on the Fall 2 season here at HMHS Sports.
Hello Bulldogs and welcome back to This Week in Sports. Last week, both girls and boys cross country lost to Norfolk Aggie. On Tuesday the 23rd, boys varsity soccer took the home field and lost a close 4-3 game to South Shore Votech, but managed to reclaim the win on Thursday the 25th, beating South Shore Votech 2-1. On Wednesday the 24th, varsity volleyball traveled to Norfolk Aggie, but sadly lost 3-1 the first set and 3-0 the second. This week, boys varsity soccer traveled to Blue Hills Regional on Monday and tied the game 2-2, while varsity volleyball beat Avon 3-0 both sets. Lastly, on Tuesday, boys varsity soccer succeeded over Tri-County 6-2, while girls varsity soccer lost to Norfolk Aggie 4-3. This has been Brianna Graziano with Code Blue News. Back to you in the studio.
Thank you, Brianna. This week marked the beginning of the trial of Derek Calvin, the officer involved with the death of George Floyd last year. The trial is being live-streamed each day, and witnesses have started being brought up to the stand to testify. One witness stated why they called the police during the time. Calvin was kneeling on Floyd's neck.
That is correct. I did call the police on the police.
All right. And why did you do that?
Because I believe I witnessed a murder.
And so you felt a need to call the police?
And I felt the need to call the police on the police.
Now, there were police there, right?
There were police there.
Okay, why didn't you just talk to them about it?
I believe that they didn't. We just didn't have no connection. You know, I spoke to them, but not on a connection of a human being relationship.
We will continue to follow this story as the trial continues. Moving on, you may not know that April is National Financial Literacy Month. To recognize this and to promote fiscal awareness for students at Holbrook Middle-High School, a financial fact or tip will be included in the announcements throughout the month. Here is a fact about credit cards. In 2020, the average credit card debt for millennials was about $4,651. If you take the minimum monthly payments for this debt, it would take you over 16 years to pay it off and cost you nearly $10,000, even if you make the payments on time. Advice: don't use a credit card for purchases that cost more than you can afford to pay off each month. If you do so, be sure to pay it off as quickly as possible.
Moving on, well, sticking with financial literacy, I'm back with another episode of Don't Harsh My Mellow. So after the family-friendly version of the Code Blue episode aired, where I ranted about Code Blue, I decided it's finally time to complain about something that nobody can really get mad for me about because we all fall under this category, at least at the school. We're going to be talking about minimum wage. Yeah, that 75 cents added to your pay each year sounds really good for a kid who doesn't work. I should know. I was that kid. In the grand scheme of things, getting under $15 an hour is barely livable conditions for families or individuals. We're really lucky that in Massachusetts it's very close to 15. It's like $13.75 or something like that, around there. A lot of other states, even that, are nowhere close to us. Other states really have the same issue with minimum wage. I have a friend in Pennsylvania who would love $13.50 an hour, $13.75 an hour. He makes about half of that. Every state's different based off of the living conditions, amenities, and living standards in those areas. I bet you guys didn't even know I could say amenities, let alone know what it means. And I didn't know Matt could make trivia 5 minutes long, but here we are. Think about how much it would be to buy a car or a house or anything with that amount of income. In Massachusetts, the price for a house or an apartment in or around the Boston area is only increasing per year. I mean, to be fair, one of the only places to live in Mass and work a really good job is around Boston. Anywhere above like Salem should be considered New Hampshire. Anywhere west just doesn't exist to me. It's just Pennsylvania. Going back on topic, the real best place for someone to work a job, regardless of wherever you live, is in or around the busy cities, and there's only a few in Massachusetts as busy as Boston. Regardless, making under 15 an hour is not going to pay for a house or an apartment or a car very efficiently. If the amount for amenities and houses and cars keeps going up, the minimum wage needs to go up even more. It can't just go up 75 cents a year. I just taught you all more about money and economics than anyone in this school has ever done, so you're welcome. Long story short, the amount we make does not cover a debt-free life and a life without worrying about money. Now to send this to Gorman and get all of it cut anyway, just to make room for trivia. Back to you in the studio.
Thanks, George.
This week, all students should have received materials for Hero Squad in their English class. Hero Squad, which used to be named Pennies for Patients, is a fundraiser that the National Junior Honor Society runs for 3 weeks each spring. This fundraiser, which runs in schools throughout the United States and Canada, has raised over $400 million for the Leukemia and Lymphoma Society since 1993. The money raised goes to funding various cures for various blood cancers and financially assisting patients with those cancers. To participate in the Hero Squad, you are asked to donate to the cause. Information on how to donate can be found in the envelope given out in English class. Please email Ms. Grant with any questions.
The GSA Club recently had a virtual field trip. Vincent Tran is here with more on the story.
Last Wednesday, the Social Justice Club went on a field trip to Sutton High School's Connection Conference. In previous years, they were able to go in person, but this time they went virtually. Both students and staff were given the opportunity to attend workshops on different topics relating to social justice.
The first one I went to was transforming approaches to advancing racial and social justice in our schools. Because as many of you know, I have a strong desire to make sure that Holbrook Middle-High School is an equitable and inclusive environment. And we've done a lot of work with social justice. That was a very good, powerful workshop, and I took a lot of notes, and I can't wait to meet with Mrs. McCann and Mr. Goodale in our Social Justice Committee and be able to share some of the information back with them.
I chose the mental health in academics and athletics. I thought that was very important because some people just overlook athletes because I think they're like so put together because they're very well respected and like popular. But I think it's really good because to like check in on them because they have like a lot of pressure put on them and they beat themselves up. Like with little mistakes people probably wouldn't even notice.
The first one I went to was supporting Asian American students through the pandemic. And that one, I just feel like it's super important to think about that right now, especially. You know, I always try to support all of my students, but particularly for Asian American kids, things are a lot harder right now, so I wanted to make sure that I'm doing the right things and supporting students appropriately.
I would love for it to be in person again because I went the year before when it was in person and it was the best experience. Like I made so many new friends and I loved being with people like when we all had the same passion to fight for something.
I was pretty impressed with how well it went virtually. It's better in person because then, you know, there could be more like communication, you can make friends. But I do think that overall it went pretty well virtually. I was really impressed.
This was my first opportunity to go to the Connections Conference. The previous years, the students went by bus out to Sutton. So my favorite part was the fact that I got to actually attend this year. And that was one of the pros of having it be a Zoomed conference.
I think it is an amazing learning experience for all students. It's always a great learning experience for me. And it's also a great way to meet new people. This year was obviously a little bit harder to meet people, but I think it's just an awesome experience and I definitely want to keep doing it every year.
Even with the virtual setting, the field trip seemed like it was a great experience for all involved. This has been Vincent Chan with Code Blue News. Back to you in the studio.
Thanks, Vincent.
Tomorrow is Autism Awareness Day. World Autism Awareness Day is an internationally recognized day on the 2nd of April every year, encouraging member states of the United Nations to make measures to raise awareness about people with autistic spectrum disorders. You'll notice teachers and staff wearing their autism awareness shirts throughout the day. Now for the moment you've all been waiting for. Let's go to Matt Messina to see who will claim the Cbn Trivia Champion title.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the latest and greatest show on Code Blue Trivia. Today's episode is about Easter. Can Derek defend his title, or can someone take the throne away? Let's find out. According to Christians, whose resurrection is Easter a celebration of? Jesus, St. Paul, Pope Gelasius, St. Matthew.
Jesus.
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 Jesus of Christ.
Jesus.
Jesus.
St. Paul.
Jesus.
What day is Easter this year? March 31st, April 2nd, April 4th, or April 7th?
April 7th.
April 2nd.
7? No. Yeah, 7.
It's the 4th.
April 4th.
April 2nd.
April 7th.
April 4th.
It's 4th.
Correct. Finley, is it your time?
Maybe.
Which holiday sells the most candy? Valentine's Day, Halloween, Easter, or Christmas?
Well, the trivia is about Easter, but I'm gonna go with Halloween.
I'd have to say Halloween.
Halloween. Easter.
That is incorrect, it's Halloween.
But people do... Oh, I forgot that Halloween was an answer.
Halloween.
Halloween.
Halloween. Halloween.
Halloween.
Which of the following dates can Easter never land on? March 22nd, April 1st, April 15th, or April 26th?
How am I supposed to know that?
I don't think it can land in March, so I'm gonna go with the one that's March.
April 26th.
April 26th.
April 26th.
March 22nd.
26th? April 26th.
April 26th.
Correct.
Really?
Let's
go.
April 26th.
Correct.
Oh!
4 for 4 like Wendy's. Like Wendy's. What city has the most popular Easter parade each year? Rio de Janeiro, Venice, New York City, or London?
I mean, the Vatican's right there, so I'm gonna go Rio de Janeiro.
D. Rio.
Venice?
Rio de Janeiro.
London?
I don't remember the answers, so D.
Venice.
But I'm gonna go with Venice.
That is objectively false. It's New York. Back when Easter was invented, what was the only color that people painted eggs? Gold, blue, red, or black?
Well, because of royalty, I'm gonna go with gold.
Incorrect, it's red.
What?
I'm gonna have to go with blue.
Gold, because the Easter colors are purple and gold.
Blue.
Gold.
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 Incorrect.
No!
While the Easter Bunny brings children eggs in the U.S., What sort of animal delivers the goods in Germany? The fox, the squirrel, the bird, or the bear?
The squirrel.
Incorrect.
Oh!
You have lost your championship.
The fox.
That's correct.
I'm gonna get this wrong, but I'm gonna go with bird.
You did get it wrong. It's fox.
The first one?
Correct.
Actually? Oh,
What do you have to say for yourself?
I don't even know. I'm speechless that I got actually more than one correct.
Fox?
A squirrel.
The bear.
Bear sounds pretty cool. So I'm gonna have to go with a bear.
Or bear. It could be bear. Easter bear? Was it the fox?
It was the fox. You would have won trivia.
I was gonna guess that! Well, I already got the 4 for 4, so I think that's an accomplishment in
I might
itself.
buy a separate bell to target.
Thank you.
Congratulations to Ant for reclaiming his title as CBN Trivia Champion. Here you go, my friend.
Thank you.
Of course.
Only 2-time champion.
You like to
Shout
say
out-
any words?
I was just saying those words. Shout out to my main man, Jason Duramo. This was for you.
All right. Shout out to Jason. All right.
That wraps up this week's show, and I'm George Starr.
And I'm Joseph McLaughlin. See you next Friday.